I slept at my friend's house, and we weren't allowed to leave the bedroom after 9 p.m. I soon found out why. We had been friends for 13 years, and in those years I had not once slept at his house. So why the sudden invite? I asked. I settled the duffel on my shoulder, and he held the door. My parents are going out, he said, and the words came out of him in a rush. Figured it's about time you saw my humble abode. The house was not a humble abode. It was a great white clapboard house that stood on the land as if it had been there forever, and the town had grown around it. Old oaks stood guard over the grounds, and their shadows fell across the yard. Inside the house, there was a smell of old wood and polish, and something more besides, a smell like turned earth after a rain. His mother was a woman built of small bones, and she carried a frantic smile that did not touch her eyes. She moved about the dim rooms with a nervous energy, asking of drinks and of snacks. His father sat in a leather chair, and he did not speak. He was a large man whose eyes were dark and still, and they followed us as we passed. At 7 o'clock they left. I heard his mother's whispered words to Leo, urgent and low, but I could not make them out. "So what's the plan?" I asked. I dropped my bag on the floor of his room. The room was a small island of the ordinary in that house, with its posters and its rumpled bed and the console set before the television. It was the only place that did not feel as if it belonged to the dead. "Pizza, video games, the usual," Leo said. He knelt and woke the machine. He moved with a forced calm, but I saw the cording in his neck. We ate the pizza and played the games, and for a time I did not think of the house or of the silence that lay coiled in its other rooms. For a time it was only the two of us and the sounds from the screen. Then near to 9 he paused the game. "Hey man," he said. He would not look at me but worked the controller in his hands. "There's just one weird rule my parents have." "Weird rule?" "Yeah." He raised his head and his eyes were serious as a stone. "After 9 p.m. we have to be in here, in the bedroom. And we can't leave, not for anything. Not for the bathroom, not for a drink, nothing. The door stays closed until sunrise." I stared at his face and looked for the jest that was not there. "You're kidding, right? What if I have to pee?" "Pee now," he said. His voice was flat. He gestured with his chin to an empty bottle on his desk. "And after 9, you use that." The laugh I had in my throat died there. "Dude, that's insane. Why?" He shrugged his shoulders, but the motion was counterfeit. "They're just super weird about security. Old house, you know. They think it's drafty." Drafty. I knew he was lying. I just didn't know why. Downstairs, a clock began to chime the hour, and his head snapped toward the door. Bong,